All right, welcome to another installment of the Fragments of Silicon reviews. Right, good news. Petty's eye is still stabilized. Not 100%, but also he can still look at a computer monitor through it, which means we are officially back to full production, which means we got 4 reviews up this week. Though technically speaking, 3.5. We'll get to that in a bit. But the first review up this week is Orbyss. Orbyss is a logic-based puzzle game. Switch between orbs to solve puzzles and light up your world. Play co-op with yourself. Freeze time. Fly drones. Play with sound. And overcome the evil shadow interfering with your quest. I'll be honest, I didn't know there was any story attached to this.
Can you go back to co-op with yourself for a second?
I can explain that one.
Please.
That's because one of the puzzle types in this game involves multiple orbs. And since there's no multiplayer, you essentially have to carry around the other orb via like an electrical cord of some kind. Like, there was probably a better way to play it than using the word co-op. Because, yeah, you're not really doing that in the classical definition. I guess in the technical sense, but it's still a bit goofy. Since, you know, there are puzzles where, like, you need to put one of the orbs on the pedestal, and then you need to take the other orb and go up a level and do something else. But, you know, nothing too complicated, at least in my time playing the game. And putting that aside, other puzzles that are mentioned here, like playing with sound. Petty actually this is what they mean by playing with sound. Though thankfully it does have accessibility options. So if you are hearing impaired, that's why it's got the pulse.
But, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm just spinning it around.
You got to find the right part. It'll flash more, pulse more, until you are at the right section, and then it's going to go flying into that sphere, and you'll be able to progress.
I wish it would have told me that.
It conveys the other puzzle types better. See, and voila, you are venturing forth.
Yeah, that's definitely some horrible conveyance for that first puzzle.
Yeah.
Literally, they just told me how to access it, and if there is there talking, because I can't hear, so basically there's no actual conveyance for what's supposed to happen there.
Not there. Like, you know, for some of the other puzzles, there will be text. Like, you know, use this button to get up the corners, the walls. Like, use this button to grab the ball. Use this button to guide the ball. Flying drones. Yeah, that's in this, but that wasn't really a puzzle. That was more a transportation thing. And freezing time, that comes a few chapters in, actually. And it is like it says, you gotta freeze things. A lot of timing puzzles there. I'll be honest, not my favorite set.
But yeah, it's like definitely that first one was a problem because they didn't tell you had to stay there.
Right.
But yeah, that's just me griping.
It's a bit it's a bit of a fair gripe, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a bit. It took me a bit of time to figure out what they wanted in the first puzzle as well. Um, that's why I was That's why I was glad I actually had the pulse on, because that kind of clued me in a lot
Mm-hmm.
faster than just sound alone. That's kind of the danger of having play it by ear puzzles in general. And as far as puzzle going goes, it's a solid affair. Not amazing, but I guess it'll how do I lay this out? Like, this feels much more like a reflex game than a puzzle game, if that makes sense.
I can see that.
Because, the actual puzzles, they're not very vexing. They're not really complicated. They're not really testing your brain needs, as opposed to your hand-eye coordination.
Mm-hmm. And I guess hearing.
Right. So I'm not exactly sure where to rate that on the puzzle scale. I suppose it might depend on what you're looking for in terms of puzzles, especially something that's purporting to be logic based. Okay, sure. Mind you, I don't know.
Maybe like Booleanly.
Yeah. Mind you, I don't know how complicated the puzzles get in the last chapter. Because I'll get to the core of the matter here. I thought this game played fine. It's just I didn't find it all that interesting. And I saw some Steam comments calling this, the Marble Madness of the modern age, and I'm gonna say no. No, Marble Madness wasn't a puzzle game of any sort. That was a pure skill challenge title. Nor is it like Super Monkey Ball. It's more like a game we reviewed some time ago in Switch Ball. Only that wasn't that heavy on the puzzles, and that was more involved with block puzzles. And I'm glad they didn't do block puzzles in this one, so far as I know. This is kind of the downside of not having enough time to play a game from beginning to end. I suppose. I suppose looks wise, the thing that really stands out to me is the lighting. The actual graphics are okay. They're very clean, with the minimalistic look, and the orbs are properly contrasted with their neon, without it being an eyesore. But it's just, I'm not used to puzzle games having mood lighting. Or at least lighting that's more dramatic than, flat 90s television levels of lighting. And yeah, this is another one of those titles where it's a good, solid time. I just don't have a lot to say about it. Always the most difficult things to talk about. Both on the positive and the negative side. It's not dull, but it's not exactly a tour de force either. Anyway, in terms of pricing, Orbyss will set you back $15. And there is a option to buy the soundtrack for $5 as well. I'll be honest, I'm having trouble remembering the soundtrack. So probably pass there. Let's see. I think it's a good game, but I have a hard time recommending it for $15. Yeah, I think I'd say wait for a bit of a sale here. Not a deep one, but $10 I think was the proper price to come in on here. Right, so any other questions, comments, or concerns over Orbyss?
Nope.
Not really.
All right, then. So that'll about do it for this game. Be sure to tune in after the break as Petty Fan reviews Go-Kart Racing.